Welcome to another episode here on Service Echoes. Today, I'm with an ex-copper, Miss Abimbola Simisola Elizabeth of the batch A1 2025, who is here to share us her NYSC experience, how she started and ended her journey. Stay tuned as we all listen to her story. You are welcome, ma.
Thank you, sir.
How was your journey?
It was fine.
Thank you so much, ma. For those just joining us, or let me just say, for those just meeting you for the first time,
Okay.
who are you?
Okay, my name is Abimbola Simisola Elizabeth. I'm a Nigeria registered nurse, midwife, and a public health nurse. And I graduated from the prestigious University of Medical Sciences, Ondo State. So that's why I am. I'm an author. So that's why I am.
You are from which state?
I'm from Ondo State.
Where did you come?
Edeka, Osun State. Edeka, Osun State. Yes.
Of the batch.
A1, 2025.
Your PPA, where were you posted to?
About Awolowo University Center for Distance Learning, Mungu. I was a nurse copper or a copper nurse there. And yes, I learned quite a number of things there. At my PPA, I was able to administer quite a lot of medications, injections, and then do clerk patients, yes, wound dressing. So at my PPA, I was used, should I say used or stretched to the barest minimum. Yes.
In one sentence, if you are to summarize your NYS experience,
Okay.
what would it be and why?
If I'm to summarize my NYC experience, I would say it's actually purposeful.
Okay.
Yes, and that's because NYC has really changed the way I think, my mindset. It improved. It helped me improve in my human relationships with people. So, and also a lot of angles. I never knew I had certain weaknesses
Okay.
until I came for the NYC program. So if you are to ask me again and again that what NY is like, just in one word, I'm saying it has been purposeful. Because it's not the same person that entered, the same person that started. Obviously, it's not that same person that is going.
Wow.
This person is a person that has learned and has fulfilled purpose within this 1 year.
At what point in time do you realize that this NYSC is really, really for you?
Okay. For a person like me, I'd always known that NYC was not just going to be NYC. Yes, because I take my relationship with God very, very serious. Yes. So I'd always known that it was not going to be ordinary. Yes. So, but even though I'd always known, I was fighting it because I didn't want to come for NYC. I'm one of those that always pray that God let them scrap. I was still in uni. Let's say God before my time, let them scrap. Let them scrap. Don't want it. No, like, I think there was a time they were saying they wanted to scrap. Forgotten that year. I was one of those that I was praying, God, I don't like it. 1 year, like a whole 1 year. I see it as a time waster. I just want to waste my 1 year, like 1 year, a whole year. So I've always prayed that God, I don't want to go, even though I didn't open up to people, but deep down I didn't want to go because based on what I've seen about my NYC, I realized that it wasn't going to be ordinary. I wasn't ready to be stretched. I wasn't ready to go through all those rigorous trainings that God wanted to put me through. I wasn't ready at that point. So I didn't get into NYC to know that it was not going to be ordinary. I knew before I entered, I knew that it wasn't going to be ordinary. Yes, but I think my orientation changed at the orientation camp, and I began to, should I say, pray my prayers. I think there was a session that we had, and then my eyes opened to the fact that NYC is actually a blessing at the orientation camp. And I told God, this scheme is a blessing. Please, I'm sorry, sir. You don't have to scrape it. And in my mind, I'm like, this God didn't answer at the first place. Yes.
Maybe you did fast.
I actually did it fast. That, oh, he doesn't have to scrape it. It's actually a wonderful
Jesus
program.
says, without prayer
I'm fasting. This one, oh, I did not fast.
you only choose one.
Oh, yes, I live preach. I live preach.
That's nice. In one sentence, can you please take us back to your camping days? I mean, during your orientation at camp, what are the experience?
Let me be realistic. I did not like camp. I was stressed out. Even though I worked at the camp clinic, I don't like stress. Like naturally, I don't like stress. So camp stressed me. So my experience at camp, it was very, should I say, woeful or bad, because I even fell sick. Yeah, yes, the 3 weeks, yes. I fell sick, and still, even though I fell sick, I still had to tend to people too. Yes, because I had to be at the camp clinic to administer drugs and injections. So my camping experience, when I hear people say, "Oh, they enjoyed camp," I'm like, really? And I think that's one of the things I regret. I did not build human relationship in camp. Yes, a lot of people, they have people they met at camp that they still talk to even after NYC. But me, I can't pick one, and that's because I was just on my own. There were times that I even cried. God, what? I told you I don't like this place. I wanted to exit, but I remember that it's my sister and I. My sister camped at Oyo. I camped at Ede. So my dad, if I call my dad that I want to exit, he will look at me. Your younger sister is camping. She's enjoying, saying she loves camp. You, an adult, you say you want to exit. If I see you in my house, so it was actually the fear of my dad that didn't allow me exit the camp. It was stressful for me as a person. I did not like stress. Waking up, sleeping for just 3 hours. God, it was so. I was so happy we left camp. If I would say something about the NYC, or should I say the total package, I would say something should be done to the orientation camp. Yes, if it can be reduced, or if it should be, the activity should be less vigorous. Vigorous, I don't know, but not everybody loves stress. But even though I don't like stress, but there are some people that still enjoy camp. So what I can just say is that if the activities can be reduced, so so that people will have more time to rest well, it will be okay and good.
All right. If an employer is listening now, what kind of graduate has NYSC made you become?
I'll say that NYC has made me become a graduate that can multitask.
Okay,
And I think that's multitask, yes.
Okay.
And I can attribute that success to my PPA. You know, we have a population of 2,500 students.
Okay.
And quite a number of times during night shifts, we only have a nurse and a health assistant on duty for a shift of a lot of times 14 hours or 12 hours at least. And then the health of those 2,500 depends on you, solely depends on you. So, and in a normal clinical setting,
yes,
we have doctors' roles, we have nurses' roles, we have pharmacist roles, everybody has their job description. But right here for my NYSC, like I said, there are a lot of responsibilities I took on. They were based on the fact that there is nobody there to do it. You just have to do it. And then it yielded results, good and positive ones. So NYSC really helped me to multitask. Wow. Yes, like I can think. I think there was a sheet where we had 4 asthmatic patients at once. Like it was so consecutive. I think 2 minute interval. That I even said, like, did you really people? Are you here for me? and they were stabilized to the glory of God.
Wow.
Yes. And it's like it took away my fear because after school it was internship. And even in internship, I was under the supervision of a staff nurse.
Okay.
Yes. Now, as a core member, now being independent, you should know that it's the grace of God. So it taught me to be multitasking and also to be independent. And lastly, my pharmacological, should I say, yes, I did pharmacology in school. I think that was 300 level. I know certain things about pharmacology,
Okay.
but coming down here to doing NYSC, it's broadened my knowledge about pharmacology. Yes, and that's because I, I collect patients, I diagnose, so I know the plan, what to give to them. You have to take this, take this, take this. I have to read more. So it helped me to read more, like my knowledge increased. So it's really helped me to multitask, to be independent, and also increment in knowledge.
Wow. That's actually a great thing. It's a great achievement.
Yes,
It's a great achievement. To the PCM, the prospective core members, listening to your story right now, what piece of advice will you give them in a way to position themselves for opportunities, not just survival during their service year?
Exactly. And even after your service year.
All right. Yes.
Yes. For me, I'm going to talk quickly on two major areas.
Okay.
Major areas. The first one, I would say, don't joke with your side class.
Don't
Joke with your side class. The skill acquisition class. I think that was not that I think that was one of the ways that God really helped me for my service year. During my when we are still at the orientation camp, science class is for a week or so, maybe a week or two. I've forgotten.
Something like that.
Yes. So we were told they listed out everywhere we were going to the science classes that they had, and then in my mind I wanted to go for makeup because I don't know how to do makeup at all. I just want to know a little bit of makeup, doing my eyebrows, stuff like that. That was what I made up my mind. There was a makeup class, I think. I've forgotten. So I told myself, we are going to go for makeup class. And then, but as I'm a child of God, so any decision I want to make, I ask God. So as I was going back to my hostel that day, I said, God, where do you want me to go amongst all these classes? And then the Holy Spirit started to me that I want you to go for pastries, baking. And then he said that you are going to use that it's going to be a source of income for you in your NYSC. And before that time, I'm not a kitchen type. Yes, I can cook, but I don't like doing wonders in the kitchen. My younger sister loves doing that. So a lot of times when she's into this baking, this pastry stuff. So there are times that when we're still at home together, whenever she's doing it or she does it, I'll just go to the kitchen, greet her, I will steal and leave. I never knew I was going to use it. I did not even follow her. I'll follow the process with her. So when I heard that, I became more serious with that side class. It was during that time that I fell sick at camp. So as I was taking my injections, I would tell them, please, once I rest for a while, please, once I think cycle is always 11. I've forgotten. Once it's 11 a.m., please let me know. I'll set my alarm. Once it's 11 a.m., I go for my cycle class, sit at the front. So I was learning and learning for that 1 week. And then I will go to YouTube, watch videos on YouTube. So when I got back home, I told my mom what God said to me, and then my mom helped me too. She bought a lot of flour, she bought a lot of things for me to work with. And my sister was at home. We came back from camp together. So she was at home to guide me or your camp. Yes. So she was at home to guide me that this is how you do it. And trust me, when I got here, somebody just asked me, somebody sells pastries at the CDS Grand every Thursday. She's going now. Will you be able to do it? can you do pastries? Immediately I said, yes. Yes, I can do pastries. And that was how I started. A lot of CDS group that will give me money for egg roll, help us do 20 egg roll, help us do puff, help us do buns, a lot. And it really helped me for my side class. And trust me, I'm not the only, let's say, testifier to this side class. It really, really helps. And secondly, I would say don't joke with your certifications. I have a friend, should I say friend or a senior colleague that had 40 certifications in this NYC within this 1 year, that back to like he had it. And it's really, really going to help you after your NYSC. And trust me, these certifications are cheap in the sense that I think the one I did was 9,007. Yes, I like for core members, they reduced the price. For core members, they reduced the price. So get certifications and don't joke with your side class.
There any lies they told you about camp, or let me just say NYSC at large, but you get into that scheme and you find out it was a lie?
No, actually, I told you I didn't want to come. So I did, and I think I didn't prepare for NYC. I didn't prepare for camp. That was why I found camp stressful. I didn't want.
As an ex-copper, during your NYSC days,
Yes, sir.
how were you able to manage your halawi? Do you have savings? How were you able to manage it?
Yes, I was able to save well. I thank God for that. Because I remember even when I was doing my internship, I was earning more. I didn't have savings. Yes.
During your internship?
Yes, that I was earning more. I didn't have savings. But not that I was earning less. And I think that's one of the things that NYC helped me. It taught me money management. Even though, yes, my PPA gives me a stipend, but still the combination, or should I say the addition of Alawi and my PPA doesn't amount to what I received during my internship. But still, I was able to save a lot of amounts, a lot of money. Yes, I saved. Even though I had to cut down on a lot of my expenses. Yes, I didn't spend money the way I was spending money. And luckily enough for me, I stayed at the family house, NCCF, Nigeria Christian Corpus Fellowship Family House. So, there's this thing that will do capitation. So once I just pay my money, I know that feeding for that month is settled. So I don't have to buy junks. I don't have to do certain things again when it comes to feeding. And also, I cut down, I didn't buy clothes for the okay, even though I think I sold 4 clothes, yes, for my birthday shoot for Christmas. After aside those two occasions, I didn't sew any other clothes. I cut down on certain expenses that you don't need this, you don't need this. Just save your money because like there is life after NYC. So NYC actually taught me how to budget my money. But this was intentionality from my own part. Because we had people that were earning as much as I was earning, but they could not save. And we have people that were earning even lower than what I was earning, and they saved more than me. This thing comes from if you are not faithful with 2,000 naira, you cannot be faithful with 200,000 naira. Yes, that's what I've seen over the time. If you cannot save from 2,000 naira, you cannot save from 200,000 naira. And as an adult, one of the things you must learn how to do is to save and invest.
Wow.
So NYC taught me, it really helped me. I was able to save well. I was really able to save well, and I didn't lack anything. Because I realized that when I was spending, I was just buying things that were not necessary. So I realized that so you can even survive without certain things. That's it. That's it. So I saved, and then I'm so happy. I'm so happy with my finance after leaving NYC. So
Wow.
but I can see that intentionality comes. It came from a place of a prepared heart that the way you wasted a year financially, you're not going to repeat that mistake this year. Yes, and I'm so happy I kept to it. And even though my nickname is Budget Woman,
Wow.
yes, I have my budget for every 3 months. My budget is always 3 months.
Wow.
I budget my things every 3 months. If you are not entering that budget now, you are not enter. It's out after 3 months. Yes, I budget my thing, my everything I want to do. This is by the grace of God, and God has been helping me. Yes, there are times that it's if I want to shake a little bit, but maybe a difference of 10 to 20,000 naira, but still I was faithful to it.
That's nice. NYC really helped you budgeting,
Yes,
reducing your expenditures,
yes.
and savings. Wow, that's nice. That's a very good thing.
Yes.
I'm actually them because I didn't know how to say it.
Please do. Please do.
So, Escobar Simisolua, right?
Simisola.
She's telling us, including me, that I should learn how to save.
I'm still learning.
You're still learning.
I'm still learning. You.
Wow.
Some people can even save more than I can,
Wow.
but this thing is not competition.
Mm.
It's just based on how
Exactly.
you can.
All right. If your service here could speak, what could it say to the next generation?
My service here was impactful, and that I experienced growth on all sides. Even though I didn't mention that earlier, but I realized that staying my NYC compares of my faith journey too, and also my clinical experience. So I realized that I spoke more on my clinical experience than my faith journey. So when I said growth on all sides, I was saying my work with God deepened in this 1 year. I stayed at family house. I think I mentioned that earlier. I stayed there, and then I grew spiritually. My ability to relate with people, human relationship to also the Holy Spirit helped me. So growth on all sides. It's as if I live with the Hausas, I live with Igbos, I live with Yoruba, I live with different culture, and I was able to live peacefully with them, and they were able to live peacefully with me. So I experienced growth on all sides, financially, spiritually, intellectually, emotionally. I am a very emotional person. So now imagine living in a house with people that are of different tribes, different culture, that the way they see things is not the way you see things. You know that there were times that I had down moments, yes, but in the God really helped me. I grew on all sides. So if my NYC would speak to this, I would say it was impactful. I'm so happy I came. I'm so happy I served the country for a whole year. And I'm so happy I encountered God over and over again, and I encountered good people, and I grew on all sides.
Wow, interesting. If I may ask, what Service Echoes is all about to you?
Service Echoes to me personally is a platform that will help the next generation coming after me or after us to know what service is all about. It will help them to prepare. If I had a platform, if there was a platform like Service Echoes before I came for service, maybe I would have known a lot about NYSC. I would have prepared myself. But trust me, I believe this platform is going to help quite a number of people to prepare for their NYSC work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Ex-copper Abimbola Simisola Esther.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. All right. Of the batch A1 2025, who was posted to serve completely for a whole year at OAU Distance Learning
Center for Distance Learning.
Center for Distance Learning, Boro, as what?
In Copper Nurse.
As a copper nurse. If not, if not local government,
Yes.
Osun State in Nigeria. This is how we end another episode here on Service Echoes. Just joining us, for our listeners just joining us, this is Service Echoes podcast, where we document, preserve meaningful and purposeful stories of ex-corps members who serve diligently during their service here. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned